That hurt.
I'm tuned in like crazy, and I'm pretending like I know what they're doing, and I'm,
The articulate and intelligent.
Gregg's a bitch. That's all.
I find them offensive as hell.
I've never been a fan.
Yeah, fuck that.
Terrible! Bad! Not bad! Oh, pretty good. Okay. Decent. Fair. Great. I love this. Go
This sucks.
Yeah, you really gotta wonder how the stuff gets made.
Welcome to Straight Red Card. If you partook in a fine Belgian ale while discussing football and shouting obscenities at U.S. mainstream soccer media, while watching porn, fucking your stepsister, and providing a reach around to your nearest friend, all the while smoking a joint, doing vodka shots, mocking U.S. soccer, lubing up your pecker with KY, dismembering Gregg's shortcomings, and taking no Disneyland fucking bullshit, then you might be watching the Straight Red Card. Thank you for joining us tonight.
I think somebody just won bingo.
I think so. I got it all in one shot. Just like, bam! This is all the things you get watching this show.
Let's address the elephant in the room. Where the fuck is Brett? So,
yeah, Brett.
I've got a different room. I've got the excellent lighting, very professional. Basically, my wife's getting a new desk in her office. My desk is now being moved down to the basement where my office will be, and it's not set up yet.
Your office is going to be next to the this S&M setup that you guys got in the basement.
I even assumed you were going to say something like a sex swing or something like that.
Yeah.
No, that's upstairs in our panic room.
Oh, you got your own panic room. Hopefully that room is far away from the kids. What floor are they on?
Same floor. It's just through a secret door in a closet.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. So anyhow, welcome to the Straight Red Card. Today we're gonna talk about the topic that people have been asking us to do, which is the top 5 positions. Not for that, but on the team, on the U.S. men's national team.
We covered that earlier, right?
The top 5 players in every position. There we go. Yes. The turn in the background says, "Welcome back to the Straight Red Card, the only show that goes 2 hours over the 30-minute show limit. My wife gives me a 30-minute limit. Unfortunately, I only last 30 seconds. Michael, that's too bad. What is this background?"
This is my living room. It's got my grand piano.
This is your Oppenheim background? Your Brett Oppenheim background?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing here?
I think so.
Okay. Well, yay, man.
Let's go the Gregg Berhalter route, right? Let's go with that.
Gregg Berhalter, right. Well, you got to have some chicks.
Ignore the people through the window. Ignore them. It's my brick wall.
This is very weird. You changing your backgrounds. It really is. It's quite weird.
It's been some time since I've done this.
Hey, what'd you think of all the U.S. women's national team not singing? I think 3 or 4 of them sang the national anthem, actually, right? Right?
Yeah, there were about 3 of them that sang.
Yeah. Okay.
I think as a whole, I think this something that I feel like it's being made a mountain out of the molehill, right? We've talked about this with the men's national team because this gets brought up all the time with the men's national team. Yeah. Is that you half the team doesn't sing. Mind you, they sit there stoically looking at the flag. They're intense. They're focused.
Des never sings because he doesn't know the lyrics.
Yeah, and a good chunk of the team doesn't even speak English, right?
Callaghan can't sing the national anthem yet. He's only heard it like twice. Give him some time. As for the gals, I can tell you that pregame, I'm pretty focused on what I'm doing. There are others that are looser and they can sing and be merry and joke around. But, for me, I joke around up to a point when I was a player, and then I was done. I was focused on the game, and I didn't want any outside distractions, not even singing a song. So, I don't know. It seems a little weird to take it as far as some people have done. Like, oh, I'm rooting for the fucking whoever they play. I'm rooting for the other team. I'm like, okay, well, they're not all horrible people. I mean, and the one person that no one seems to like at all doesn't even start anymore. So I don't know, maybe chill out and watch a few games. I mean, you don't have to watch the games. I watch them, but you know.
Back in the day when I played, I didn't sing along with the national anthem. I had my hands behind my back looking at the flag.
We didn't even play the fucking national anthem in my day.
That's so weird. I mean, you grew up on a military base. What?
I know. We didn't play the national anthem.
You unpatriotic bastards.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I'm on a military base. How patriotic can you get?
Speaking of some patriotic bastards, Chris Carey found some patriotic people who sing their national anthem. Women, we're talking about you here.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's the North Korean team. I can't hear the sound, but that's all right.
Their actual national anthem, but it's just you can see how patriotic they are. They're singing along. He's bursting into tears.
Yeah, they're going to get shot otherwise. He knows that, and that's why he's crying. He's like, if I don't sing this, they're going to fucking kill me. No, seriously. That's how it works there in North Korea. So, yeah, that's pretty sad. I'd be crying too if that were the circumstances I were forced to sing the national anthem under. That's pretty pitiful. All right, so I did run into this girl who. Wait. Go ahead.
Cover your screen. Let's get the bingo cards out of the way, so that way
I think I covered most of them in the intro.
I know you did.
Shit. Let me get something that actually covers the screen. There we go.
Yep. All right. Waiting for it. We're on my laptop, so it's a little slower, guys. Here's card number 1. You might want to pick that because Eating Crow is going to come up later. That's just a freebie.
Even flow.
So we got number 2 here.
Run around like butterflies. We don't know.
Derek Kings, there you go. Number 3. Way to go, Chris Carey. You got a free one. And it's next to Free Space, too.
Is Even Flow on that fucker anywhere?
No, but Derek Sings is.
Oh, well,
yeah, Derek Sings is on every week.
That happens every week.
Yeah. I know. All right, you're good, Derek.
Okay.
All right. You met some lady at a gas station.
Yeah. This is while I'm I'm undressing my beer for the night, which is going to be my last leffe left. It's a blonde Belgian ale. I would in the scale of Belgian beers, it's kind of in the middle. It's not one of the best ones, but it's pretty good. 80s cock rock. Like which one in particular?
Feel the noise.
Come on, feel the noise. That's kind of out of my range a little because I don't really have a grainy voice. So I can't really do that. What's the other one? Twisted Sisters, sort of in that range.
Yeah.
That's 80s. What was there? We're not gonna take it. I'm not really a heavy metal singer or a soft metal singer, or whatever you want to call those guys. Cock rock? I mean, really, is that cock rock? I don't know. I'd say David Bowie is more cock rock. I mean, you think about the glamour and the makeup during the Ziggy Stardust era. That's kind of more cocky-ish, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. An amazing album, by the way. One of the best albums ever written. If you have never listened to the complete album, it's a masterpiece. All right, so look that up while you can. All right, tell
us about your special lady friend.
So yeah. Anyhow, she's not special. She's maybe special ed. But I ran into this
starting
gal.
off the zinger here, Derek. Way to go.
I'm standing in line with this gal. Yeah, exactly. At a gas station, and she's wearing a mask in front of me. And so, I'm like, okay. She's the only one in the whole gas station wearing a mask. So I said, hey, should I step back? I mean, do you have COVID? Are you sick? She's like, oh, no, I'm not sick. I said, then why are you wearing a mask? And she just stared at me, turned around, paid her fucker gas, and left. I'm like,
you offended her, Derek.
I didn't even get a response because she wouldn't have had a rational response.
She's going, another pleb.
And I just thought, man, if you're still wearing a mask at this point, I don't know. You're stuck.
I hated the masks. I did.
Well,
I hated them.
Some people are still using because they're antisocial, so they don't like people seeing them. Like I went in to buy new headphones for my Xbox because my other one's broke, And I was at a disc replay place or whatever it's called. And there's 8 employees. They're all working diligently. There's 2 people, 3 people at the front desk. One of the dudes, the dude who I came to at the register, was wearing a mask. Nobody else in the whole store wearing a mask, just this guy. And I thought about asking him the same question, but I'm like, nah, this might scar him because he was like 24, 25. He looked like he would fall apart immediately at any hint of fucking criticism or a conflictual question that he might have to actually contemplate that might break his fucking soul in half. So I'm like, I'm just going to leave this tender vettel alone. I'm just going to get the fuck out of the store. But I wanted to ask him. She might have been ugly. It might be one reason. But at some point, people are going to be like, listen, are you ugly or are you sick? If you're sick, I get it. You're wearing a mask.
Maybe she's having a breakout, and that's
all right. Maybe she has a penis way to get over, growing off her chin. I don't know what the fucking reason.
Chris Gary says he still sees people wearing masks in a car alone.
I see people walking their dogs alone.
Derek is far right.
No, I'm not far right. In fact, I might be the exact opposite.
Derek, anti-vaxxer confirmed.
But we're not getting into that, are we? Some
David
of the
D
biggest
says she might have taken you as a denier. It's not 2021 anymore. She's wrong today.
She's certainly wrong today. I wore masks, during
Dan W. shaming you. He has to wear one.
Even though I thought these can't really help that much, but I wore one because I didn't want to get my parents sick,
Joe says the Redditors are going to love this.
Do you guys ever get local beer? Indy has some great breweries. I know Metazoa has some Belgians. I've never been to Metazoa, but now that I know they have Belgians, I might go. From another Hoosier, drink local. Thank you, John K. Thank you, brother, for the $4.99 and for the fact that I didn't know that Metazoa had Belgians. I've gone to other independent breweries in Indianapolis, and they had no Belgians. So I'm going to take Brett over to this Metazoa place. We're going to get some Belgians.
Oh, the worst. Okay, fine. Twisting my arm. It happens.
You like Belgians?
No, that's fine. Yeah, I like beer. I like beer.
Yes,
I do drink local. Actually, I pretty much consistently only drink local, unless I need a bigger pack of beer to get through a whole day of an activity. At that point, buying local micros doesn't make much sense. But absolutely do buy local.
You can buy a jug though. Isn't that financially better than buying
it's the equivalent of 5 pints. You might as well just
Is it? Okay. Yeah. No. I wouldn't know. I mean, I just buy expensive Belgian beers. What do I know?
Yeah, Indy has a lot of good beers. So does Michigan. So I consider Michigan as local for me too.
Okay.
I got a lot of family up there, so I got 2 locals.
So I also was in a Walmart and a Myers this weekend, but in the Walmart in particular, I was watching this woman and her 2 kids. They were probably 5 and 7. They were shopping in the same aisle I was in. And the mom got a little befuddled about something, and I don't know what. But her 7-year-old turned around and said, "Mom, you're so stupid."
Did you backhand her?
I didn't. And the mom's like, "Honey, don't say that." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?" The first thing I thought is maybe this is an inside joke, but the mom's like, "Please don't say that to me again." And then the kid's like, "Oh, Mom, you're a dummy." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I had to get out of the aisle, dude. I had to get out of the aisle because I couldn't handle watching some 7-year-old call her mom a dumb fuck, essentially. And the mom being like, okay with it. Like her response was so balanced and even. And, she just, didn't want to yell or get upset at the kid. I was like, are you fucking crazy? Your kid just said you're stupid twice.
The key is to talk so low that nobody else around you can hear you, but loud enough for him or for the kid to hear you. And you put the fear of God in that child.
No shit, dude. And I'm glad to hear that. I know Brett does not treat his kids like they're his peers. And I didn't either. Because if my kid said that to me, I said, "Dude, you say any shit like that again, your ass is going to be, you won't be able to
Just
walk
wait till
for
we
a
get out
week.
to the car.
Yeah. You wait till we get home, motherfucker, and I'll show you how stupid I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my kids never would dare to say anything like that to me.
Nope.
So they knew the rules. Yeah. It's just amazing to me. It's not the first instance I've seen of that.
We had one incident of Jackson when he was like 3 or something like that. Was so pissed, was so angry that we were leaving Nana and Papa. So it's like 8 o'clock at night. It's bedtime. Kid got to go. And he was so upset that he told Evie to shut up.
Oh,
He has never said those words ever again. we pulled over and had a little conversation.
yeah.
Exactly. That was it.
Man, I can't believe some parents these days, and I don't want to generalize everybody, but there are a lot of young parents out there. They seem to be taking a lot more shit from their kids than anybody ever did before. And I'm saying you should beat your kids, but your kids should know who the boss is.
I always talk about how kids nowadays, the point of where kids started acting out coincides when we stopped hitting them. Now, joke, guys, it's just a joke, but
Spanking
kind
them?
of a kernel of truth there, right?
A little bit, yeah. Think so. I never had to spank any of my kids. They just knew who the fucking boss was. And they knew what the limitations were, and they knew how that they needed to be respectful to me and their grandparents. And if they weren't, shit was going to go down. And they never even tempted it. They're like, I'm not doing that shit because this guy, Derek, ain't going to take any shit. Dad is not taking any shit.
It appears most of the chat is on our side.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I'm not saying beat your kids, but there's some sort of psychology here at work that is not working for this next generation of parents.
It's
not all of them, some of them.
It's a concept of the parents that want to be their kids' best friend and stuff like that. And it's like, no, you have to set boundaries.
Right. You're not my friend, dude. I'm your fucking dad. All right. I'm here to provide you guidance, hopefully good guidance. And I think I did a pretty good job. All right. They both have jobs. They're both employed. They both have a place to live. And I'm not taking living in my basement. So half the time it's just manners. And you know who else shows manners, Derek? Elephants show manners. Oh, I love this video.
This was a fun little video Derek sent my way.
I fucking love this. Watch how this
first off, I complain about deer here. Could you imagine living in a place with a herd that large, randomly strolling across the road? They could T-bone your ass.
I know, but watch this last one. He's like, "Thanks, dude." I love it. It's fucking great. He's like, "Hey, man, thanks, thank you, buddy. I appreciate stopping and letting all my herd through." He like waves at him.
Thanks.
He's like, "Thanks,
man.
Appreciate it. Much love. Much love." I did have a question somebody asked in private, which is German an angry language? I think it is. I think German is an angry language, and being that I grew up listening to it, that might explain some of my tone.
When people think you're angry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I speak English like my grandfather spoke German, which is loud. And that's all right. I mean, there are lots of different cultures that kind of are like that. Yeah, Italians can get really loud,
Stereotypical Japanese gets loud too. That sound when they talk. It just sounds like they're angry, but they're not angry. They talk about this. There's actually a video out there that talks about this. How it's a lot of what they say is an inflection. If they say it one way, it means one thing. If they say it a different way, it means something else.
Right. Yeah. And German's just loud. I mean, not all Germans are loud. I would say 80% of them are pretty loud. And yeah, I mean, there's no invective in it. It's just that, I knew when my grandfather was up in the morning because he and my mom were having a conversation a floor below me, and they were loud as fuck. They were loud people.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's angry. It's just how the language is delivered.
Yeah.
And it could be different in different parts of Germany. Maybe they talk like total pussies in Hanover. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I've never been there. All right. So, did you catch the Pulisic interview with Bleacher Report?
No, I didn't.
Well, we're not going to visit it, but it was with a gal named, what was her name? Something Rooks. And during the interview, which was mostly there's nothing to it. There's really not much to it. He did mention when she asked about Balogun, and he said the following, I think it's because we've changed the way the world views American soccer.
No!
And I nearly fucking vomited on myself. I'm like, dude, please do not say that. Please do not say that.
I don't think anything about Balogun had to deal with that.
Yes. They also talked about Pulisic's venture into perfectionism and that how he spends hour after hour perfecting a certain skill. I was thinking the whole time, corner kicks.
Hey, you know what? It showed up in the last game, didn't it?
It did, didn't it? So it was so funny. I watched
his
that
crosses
interview.
and his corners, man. They were pretty all spot
I
on.
know. But during that interview, I was thinking, did you work on your corner kicks this offseason? And then, of course, then the game comes on, and of course, they score off of one of his deliveries on a corner kick. So I'm like, okay, I'll shut up.
Maybe he is staying after practice, an hour after practice, hitting those corner kicks.
How many of the Leagues Cups games did you watch?
Oh, the Leagues Cups?
The Leagues Cups.
I haven't watched any because Chicago hasn't played yet.
Well, are they playing tonight?
No, they're playing, I think, next week and against Puebla. I think they're playing Puebla.
Doesn't it seem a little unfair that all the Mexican teams have to play in the United States? They don't get to play at home? I know it's about money. No, I totally get it. But it seems a little unfair that they've got to do all the traveling. Anyhow.
What was the team that was caught up in Vancouver Airport because of some mishap with their plane tickets? And
I don't know.
And they were supposed to go down to LA to play. But now they're going to have to fly down to LA and not be able to practice before the game.
Mm-hmm.
Leon. It's Leon. Thanks, Jackie.
Leon. I will say this. It should have been a clean sweep of the Mexican teams. Montreal were up 2-0 with like 10 minutes to go. They totally fucked the pooch. What a bunch of idiots. They're so stupid the way they played. So they lost, ended up losing, or I think it was in the shootout or something like that. But then, as far as MLS versus Mexican teams goes, Philly, I watched Philly versus Tijuana. Philly dominated that game. Absolutely dominated it. Minnesota destroyed Puebla with 10 players, 4-0. They had 10 players. They just, because of a red card, they destroyed Puebla. It was like, what is Puebla, like the worst team in Mexico?
I hope so, because Chicago plays them next.
Okay, but that was
next. No, I thought this was single elimination thing, isn't it?
No, it's groups of 3.
Oh,
groups of 3.
Okay,
yeah. It's the dumbest tournament ever invented by man. Really is. I don't know what the point of this is. I guess it's the only thing I can say. It gives me something to watch. I know about the money part.
That's the whole point of it.
Outside of the money part, this seems like a ridiculous tournament. It really does. Like,
of course.
Totally unnecessary to have this.
This is a cash grab.
Just have the first
grab.
Have the first place. We already have this. The first place from MLS play the first place from Mexico. There's your game. That's the one everybody wants to watch. But no, we got all these little jerk off things going on here. So anyhow, I don't like seeing Brett with so much light showing his face. That is not nice.
I don't either. This is not a great light setup for this, but it's the only light I've got in here. Mentioned it earlier, man. Some construction going on.
What's wrong with Brett's face? It's not like he's got zits. He doesn't have pock marks.
Construction.
There are no boils on his face.
I wear a lot of makeup.
Right. All right. So just
Brett, are you processing your photos?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Spencer Doherty for $5.69. Why prop the Leagues Cup and not use the U.S. Open Cup? Garber sucks. Yeah, Garber's been pretty open saying the U.S. Open Cup is a waste of time.
And he's on the board.
Yes.
Make some changes if that's what you think.
Yes. Invest in it. Make some changes. Blow it up. Put it on a fucking TV channel people actually watch. And then maybe they'll get into it. But otherwise, nobody's going to watch the U.S. Open Cup anymore because no one cares. The MLS teams don't really care that much. And Garber said they shouldn't care that much.
Yeah.
So there you go. They're not going to prop it because they can't make money off of it, Spencer. That's the thing. There's more money in this Leagues Cup thing. All right.
That's the camera now. It's all fucked. It's a little better.
Did you
like
see
the camera makes it look like my house is like crooked.
People are, I think, rational enough to realize that your camera's at an angle.
No, and I did see some people say they absolutely hated the wallpaper. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the wallpaper either, but our house was originally owned by old people.
Yeah, they haven't repapered everything, guys. And he just moved in there a year ago, right?
2 years.
2 years ago. Okay, well,
problem is we have so much water damage occurring that I can't get hold of actually moving forward. Shit, I want to.
Oh yeah, you're just flushing money down the toilet.
It's the worst.
So, yeah.
AC and the heating system all had to be replaced. Now apparently our water softener's fucked. It's 20 years old and needs to be replaced. This whole thing, I swear.
Brett, you just need to turn 50, get divorced, and move into your own suite.
By the time we turn 50, the kids, well, not 50, I guess, a little bit after 50. 55, I guess the kids at that point will probably be out of the house. And at that point, we can sell the house and move into something smaller. It's all new, right?
55. Christ.
Speculating here. I'm about to turn 40.
My kids were all gone.
Would be Jackson going to college. Then, about 53, 54 would be Charlie going to college.
Nope, 40. I was 48 when my kids were out. You got to start earlier, Brett.
A little too late for that, Derek.
Yeah, I know.
I'll step back in my my hot tub time machine and go tell past me.
Yeah, you need to spooge earlier in the relationship. All right. I think that's all I got for. Oh, Shaka is okay by anybody still wondering. He is fine. I didn't
catch it. You sent me the text. I'm like, I came into the stream like 2-3 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it live. I saw all the clips on Twitter about it. It's like, whoa, that would have been messed up to see.
I know. So you got Dan Thomas on one side. Well, Shaka on this side. And Shaka just poof. And then Dan Thomas turned around and went, Shaka, are you okay? Help. And I was like, damn. Yeah. I hope Shaka didn't just have a heart attack. But apparently, and people don't know this, if you lock your knees in a really hot temperature for a long period of time, you will pass out.
Dude, okay, so yes, that is one thing they always used to tell you, like when you went to church and shit like that, when you would stand up for a long periods of time, not to lock your knees because then you might,
Right.
Never happened. I never once saw anybody do that. And I don't think that was the case, was it? Was that the case? No, it couldn't have been the case because they actually had to get medical over there to help them out.
So when my dad became a colonel, his change of command ceremony, it was like in the middle of fucking August in Fort Knox, Kentucky. Okay. So there are 1,000 soldiers marching on this field. And then they have to stand in 98, 100-degree weather while the ceremony went on. And one by one, those motherfuckers started passing out and dropping to the floor. And, you can't stand in a fucking heat for a half an hour with your knees locked without passing out. A lot of people are going to pass the fuck out. Yeah. And it happened to my dad's ceremony. I kept looking at my mom going, what the fuck's going on? Mom's like, yeah, you can't. This is too hot. They're wearing that full gear. They're hot as fuck. They're just going to drop off. Yeah, I'd say 40 of 1,000 soldiers probably dropped off that day.
The heat's a dangerous thing, and we can see that here on this broadcast from Weatherman here. Watch this.
The heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead. The temperature right now in McKinney is 10,000. What is that? 100.
A nuclear fucking bomb went off there.
Terrell and in Dallas, your heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead. The temperature, the heat index right now in McKinney is 10,000. I love how he didn't even crack. 101,105.
All in there.
It's hot in McKinney.
That's good. That's really good.
So
I'm glad he saw the humor in that.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen the tweets going around, but there are a bunch of people that are posting stuff about climate change and everything like that. Like, oh man, if the temperature ever hits 90 degrees, most outdoor activities are going to be canceled. And if you're outdoors and it's 95 degrees outside, you most likely die. I'm like, this has to be parody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll bitch when it's like 95 degrees outside, but I mean,
you're
I'll
not
still
gonna
go outside
die.
and do shit, you know?
Yeah. You got some liquid, you're fine. Just pour some water over your head.
Like, oh, if you're outside for more than 5 minutes when it's 95 degrees, you will die. No.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, fuck on, dude.
Yeah. So
shut up.
Exactly. I'm glad that Shaka is okay. It was scary at the time, but he is okay. However, the commercials they've been playing during much of the Leagues Cup, I don't know if you noticed, it's a Velveeta commercial using a Roger Webb song called Moonbird. And it is one of the dopest fucking songs ever written. We can play it here because guess what? We don't monetize the live show, right?
We don't.
So if you look,
sure, we can get away with playing all sorts of stuff because they can't claim when you don't monetize, or if they do claim it, they actually can proactively go back and claim your video and turn monetization on.
Yeah,
if they place a claim on you, but whatever. We're not actually making any ad money off this shit anymore.
Anyhow, we have to play the beginning of that song at some point. Roger Webb, Moonbird. What a badass song from 1971, I believe. And if you can just imagine a big fat ass beat behind this song, I'm shocked. I'm sure someone has sampled this in the 90s. Someone had to have, because it's just such a fucking badass song. Did you find it? No?
Oh, you want me to actually pull it up?
Yeah, I did. I was like, this is such a badass song. It must be played.
I had primed for a transitional joke and all, but I'll do your bidding. Sure, why not?
Okay, and then we'll move on.
By the way, Moonbeam,
Moonbird by Roger Webb.
All right, 1 second. I gotta
WEBB. While you're doing that, the Barca Juve game was really disappointing because it was canceled because of diarrhea on Barca's side, I believe, right? Barca had the diarrhea.
I don't know what happened there. I was so stoked about watching that game. Like,
me too.
Fucking hell.
But it was endocrinitis, which is basically puking and shitting. Puking, shitting, and feeling nauseous. So a lot of the players apparently on Barca had the runs. So they had to cancel the game, which is really sad.
They stop off in Mexico and drink the water? Is that what happened?
No, that was not what happened. They apparently all they drank from the same jug of water that the one of the assistants had used to wash his asshole, and that made them all sick. So there you go. Don't mix your asshole juice with the water that the players drink. That's not going to be good because fecal matter makes people sick.
I feel like I'm on the wrong thing. Sorry, this is Moonbird 1959, 2014 remastered. That can't be right.
Roger Webb, Moonbird.
Roger Webb,
Moonbird. You would put Roger Webb right away.
Like, what am I listening to here? That can't be right. Off by a couple decades.
All right, we'll play this and then we'll move to soccer. All the time. Oh, you got more shit. All right.
Yeah. For $1 a day.
You playing this?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Oop, I had to
turn the sound on.
Oh, you bitch. Come on now. It was working.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm on my laptop. This is taking a sec.
Yeah, the connection's not as good.
Maybe skip to a certain point. Oh, motherfucker.
All right, well, let's just move on with the show. Fuck it. People find it on their own.
Yeah.
All right, find it on your own. It's worth watching. And then imagine a big fat ass
speaking of moonbirds and things you can see at night. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but I wanted to share this drone show that occurred at a I don't know what Dead & Co. is. I'm not sure if that's a concert of some form, but
yeah, Dead, the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, probably.
All right, well done. This is at the Dead and Company show? All right. Well,
an impressive drone show.
That's inspiring for many. Wives and husbands alike. Boyfriends and girlfriends everywhere. People with penises excited about that prospect in the future for themselves. All right. Immigrant Song or AC/DC, please. Immigrant Song is a good song.
I'd play Immigrant Song over anything AC/DC at this point. 93.9 here in Indy overplays AC/DC, and I am done with it.
Yeah, I mean, you still got For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. That's a great fucking song.
Oh, no, they have plenty of good songs. I'm just like, I'm tired of hearing them.
Dirt. Well, they don't play enough of the older AC/DC. Like Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap. Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap. Now, that's a really, if you go back into their early catalog before the dude died and they had to hire the new guy, they had some great shit. So check that out if you haven't. She's got the Jack.
Song is now called the Thor song, by the way, from Ragnarok.
High
That's what most people know that from. It's like
voltage rock and roll. That's a good song, but High Voltage Rock and Roll by AC/DC also I recommend. But go back early in the category, the catalog.
Derek, did you know that the highest paid NBA player is Steph Curry at $48 million?
That makes sense, I guess.
Mbappe was just offered $775 million to play 1 year in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, fuck that.
Here's the question, though. I mean, Mbappe's what? 20, 21, something like that?
Somewhere around there.
You're offered $775 million for 1 year. Do you take 1 year out of your career at that age to get that bank, and then at that point be a free agent to go wherever the fuck you want?
Yeah, he could do it.
775 is pretty enticing.
It is. I guess at some point.
Jasper says he's 24. I thought he was younger than that. Oh,
not 20,
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was thinking from the 2018 World Cup.
23, 24, yeah, somewhere around there. But yeah, at what point do you sell your soul? I think $775 million is kind of where
$750 million. I might sell it.
Yeah, I think so. I would.
Seriously,
I would not.
I would happily take it. Go play on that dry heat. You know, they've got the clouds overhead, just like Qatar World Cup was supposed to have. You know, spraying mist down to the field.
Sure,
I'll dig it. Sure, for $750 million. Yeah.
I don't know how you turn that down.
No, and they said for a year. I'm not sure if it's for a year. It has to be for a year, right, guys? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But I read that it was for 1 year. It's absolutely insane. How do you you're right. How do you not?
Yeah. I mean, if it's more than a year, no. But for a year, I'd do it. Maybe 2 years. I'd do it for 2 years. World Cup's not for another 4 years, 3.5 years. So fuck it.
Yeah. So BX Gunner says $700 million for 1 year, and then he gets to go to Real. That's wild.
Yeah. I'd take it. I mean, listen, at some point you're like, okay, that's just way too much for me to say no.
Yeah.
I mean, not that he's not going to be a multi-million a year. Yeah, he's going to be a gazillionaire anyhow by the time his career's over. So maybe he thinks, I don't really need 75. I mean, who needs $775 million? Who needs it? Who needs that much money?
I'll take it.
What do you do with it all?
I would live an incredibly pretty life. Wonderful. Just beautiful. Just enjoy everything I want to enjoy. I would not spend a fraction of it, but still.
You're married, Brett. Even with $775 million, there's a certain aspect of your life that's staying the same. Now, for me, I'm saying, and this is me without
$775 million in my pocket. I'm quite a simple person. I don't need a lot. I enjoy traveling, but I enjoy being at my house and just enjoying life in general.
Yeah.
I don't need to have a multi-million dollar house. This house is big enough. I mean, you just got to fix the fucking shit out of it. Might spend multi-millions to fix it, but
Yeah. No, I think that's just too much money for most people, unless you plan on becoming like a mogul or handing out, making donations to about 1,000 different fucking nonprofits.
That's where you go. That's
that's
what you're going to spend all your money on. Whores every day.
Yeah, that's not that expensive. That's really not even near $775 million. You can get some pretty good whores at around $1 million. Like if you want multiple whores, you can do that yearly for about a good 500 grand, maybe a million. I don't know.
I'm just saying. And
I'm not a whore master.
I'm not in Mbappe's shoes as far as being as skilled a player as he is with the French national team and everything like that. But I could sacrifice 365 days or less, actually, but to go and play 1 year in Saudi Arabia. I could do that. It's not a World Cup year. You're perfectly fine. You bounce back. You got 2 more years until then. You're good.
This is an existential question, really. You're set for life anyhow. How much more set for life do you need to be? Seriously. Wherever he goes, he's going to make millions
easily
of dollars.
Put him over the billion mark, and you could be a billionaire. So
what? So you could hang out with all those other pricks that are billionaires?
Yeah.
Who would want to do that? So you can write up the world order and how it's all going to look going forward. Do you automatically get a place on the council of billionaires when you become a billionaire?
You get your own island out there in the Middle East where they're making all those islands, right? You can get a Palm Tree Island or something like that.
Let's join the council where we all decide how the rest of you are going to be serfs. We're going to make you into peasants, all of you serfs, and compliant to our wishes. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little creepy.
It's just an insane amount. So
no, it's an unimaginable amount of money.
I mean, I couldn't imagine what I would do, and I wouldn't. I don't know. I always think about like if you won the lottery, what would you do? And I'm like the lamest person in the world. So when it comes to that shit,
I mean, yeah, I do a lot of shit I want to do, a lot of devious shit too. But
it's like I don't know. Like I mean, I'd give X amount to my family. I'd set up trust for my kids, and then the rest is all for me to spend, right?
Still have $600 million left.
Easy.
After you're done with that.
Easy.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, do you really have to pay taxes over in Saudi Arabia? I mean, I guess do you still have to pay taxes as a French citizen at that point?
You could solve
in a different league.
You could solve homelessness in like half of the states of the United States with that money.
I don't know, man. I know the money that New York and some cities in California spend to house the homeless in hotels. So you never know.
I don't think housing them in hotels is the solution.
That's what they're doing, though. That's what they're doing.
It's not a solution. Can I?
You're right. How expensive is a tent? Right? You buy them a tent, right?
No. You set up a program to help people, to really help them. You get them the mental health care they need.
Way to make this serious, man.
Well, I'm just saying. Listen, here's the crazy thing. Where I work, we get calls from Oregon State, the state of Oregon, California, all the time, saying we don't have the resources here. We need fentanyl test strips, and we need Narcan for overdoses because it's not available to us. I went and looked at the Oregon laws, and yeah, you can go to a pharmacist. Anyone can go to a pharmacist and get Narcan in Oregon, but it ain't free. Then you have to use your health care. What are you now going to tell your health care provider? Yeah, I'm buying Narcan because I'm a fucking heroin addict. I mean, really? Is that what you want to do? Think your health care costs are going to go up? Yeah, it's ridiculous. Some of these so-called progressive states, they don't really give a fuck because they're in Oregon, by the way, their number of overdoses went up by 20% in 2022. You think they fucking care about people who are dying of overdose? No, they don't. I mean, they really don't. If they did, they wouldn't just make it so you could go to a pharmacist and get Narcan. They would have it widely accessible to everybody who needs it. Whereas Indiana, by the way, we cut our overdoses by 7% last year in 2022. We were one of a handful of states that did better. Good. And all the states that did worse, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Maryland, fucking the cocksuckers out in California, Oregon, Washington State, all having horrible, getting worse, not getting better. We are getting better. At least we got better here in Indiana.
There you go.
I'll get off my fucking.
Feral Among Us says socialist or social activism corner of the straight red card. This is basically Derek trying to build up his social credit score again after doing the whole mask bit earlier.
I don't really care about any of that.
Jokes. All jokes.
I know. But I just want to let people know I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
Either way. This ain't politics for me. It's real lives and real people dying. All right. After that darkness, let's get into some topics.
Seth, you watch your mouth when you talk to us. You watch yourself.
Indiana sucks. Yeah, we suck fucking popsicles. That's what we suck, buddy.
Popsicles.
Nice, cool, refrigerated, tasty fucking popsicles. That's what we suck.
Yeah, we cook on our gas stoves and everything.
All right, let's move on to some actual soccer topics on our gas stove.
Is that what we do here?
Yes, let's do it.
Derek, on a number of times you and I have made fun of Apple TV, have we not?
Yes. It's infuriating.
Trying to go on there and locate a game that you might have missed because, you might actually have a social life on a Saturday night at 7:30 or 10 o'clock for you because
I've
LA
tried.
Galaxy and all.
Right.
So here's a thing when, we talked about the Weah and McKinney game that, was called off because of explosive diarrhea.
Yep.
So, I was like, oh, thank you, ESPN, for even if I miss it tonight, I can certainly catch it on replay. Here's looking at you, Apple TV MLS season package. It's your boy, though, says you can rewatch MLS season pass games anytime. Just go to the team icon and find the game, scroll down to the rewatch option. And I will tell you, I got 3/4 of the way there by myself. Because before I posted that, I'm like, I want to make sure I'm not, just making up shit here.
Losing my mind, yeah.
And when you go to the team, the first option you have is to watch a recap.
Fuck that.
You got to scroll down. You got to scroll down a little bit further to catch the replays.
So fucking stupid. Most channels that have this feature, you have what's called on-demand replays. And you go there, and it has a list of all the fucking replays you can watch, and you pick the one you want. No, not fucking Apple TV. Those fucking morons running that place make you go dig through a fucking hole, then dig up the hole, then go through the tunnel, come out the other side of the intestine, bust out of a prolapsed butt fuck, and then you get what you want. I mean, I don't know what they're doing there. Yeah. Why do they make it so difficult?
Derek, how hard is it to put a button underneath the recap button that says, rewatch or replay or
it's
anything.
Not hard.
Why do you have to scroll down further? Because I feel like that's just you're attempting to try to not get people to actually rewatch the matches.
Yes,
I mean it should be one of the options. It should be
easy.
Recap because you want to say, hey, maybe we want to have less people on here longer periods of time because it's, costs money to have people on here. Then you have rewatch or replay, and then whatever or list more or whatever. It should be really one of the options at the front.
It's not hard on any other channel or any other app I have. It's not difficult to find replays. You don't have to dig at all. It's just there's a list of fucking on-demand replays on ESPN, for instance. It's obvious. You go and find it. You don't have to click on some fucking individual team. Fuck that.
So that's the thing.
To find
there should be a whole list on the main page of MLS Season Pass that says replay. And it's just that week's games. Now, if you want to dig further back, then you got to dig into the team. I'm fine with that. But it should be up in front and center because basically enforcing hey, you got to watch it live. Otherwise, you got to do a lot of shit to dig in there and find that. Most people, I imagine, and we were in the same boat with this. Most people just assumed you couldn't rewatch.
A lot of people thought you couldn't rewatch it. It's not intuitive, you fucking nimrods at goddamn Apple. Get a fucking half a brain. Jesus
So
Christ.
this was the eat crow portion of it because I did respond to it's your boy saying like, I didn't scroll down far enough. I saw the recap and never noticed the replay was below. I take back the bit of criticism towards Apple Season Pass. The bit that's saying that they don't have the option to replay.
Yeah, because
there's still criticism there. The whole UI aspect of it needs to be changed, but
listen, it's there. You just need to fucking unzip their pants, pull down their underpants, lift their nutsack, and underneath the nutsack, they got the tape right up there. Taped up there is the replay.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be that hard to find. You shouldn't have to undress a man and feel his testicles to find a fucking replay.
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
That replay is just not... It's unsavory. It's been taped under some balls for a while. It's not nice.
Yeah, it's sweaty.
It's unsavory. Yeah.
All right. What do we got next?
Well, we're going to branch off into kind of your favorite segment of the show.
Transfer news. Everybody loves that transfer news, but me. All right. What do we got?
And that mixed in with just, European preseason. Everybody likes your European preseason.
I mean, it's been fun. I've really enjoyed a lot.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying that it's kind of all mixed together here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
Zach McCabe says,
tactical manager.
Oh, okay.
I knew you were struggling there, like TM.
Who the fuck is that? Titty motherfucker?
Yeah.
Is reporting that Anderlecht and Feyenoord are interested in Jalen Neal. Both have depth at CB. I don't think either option will make a difference in playing time. It'll come down to which would be the best for his development. No, it's too early to go to those teams, I think, because he will ride Pine. I guess he could play on the two teams, but he will ride Pine for both of those teams. So,
yeah, I mean you're more the expert on this than I am. How
maybe not Anderlecht,
Galaxy though.
He's playing all the time. He's great, but I think he'd have a better chance at Anderlecht.
I guess in this situation it's not tactical manager. I just hear TM. I hear tactical manager, but transfer market,
Titty Master.
That's probably a little more not believable. It's believable the fact that somebody's reporting a rumor from transfer market than say tactical manager. But quite frankly, Filippo has his ins and outs with the youth of MLS, so I wouldn't have put it past him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Anderlecht would probably be the better choice out of those two for right now. I think he'd have a better chance at fighting there. Twisted Metal. Testicular.
Did you ever play that game back in the day on PlayStation? Twisted Metal? Oh, no, Twisted Metal 2 was the best, and I didn't play any other Twisted Metals after that, but that was such a fun fucking game.
Yeah.
It was like Mario Kart, but on steroids, in the sense that, you're a bunch of cars shooting missiles at each other. So.
Tasty Man. Tasty Marbles. Testicular Monstrosity.
Oh. Wait, what?
TM.
No.
TM.
I know.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, listen. I think if he goes to Feyenoord, he probably sits the bench for a couple of years. Eventually he'll get to play. Maybe a year. I don't know. It's not either of those would not be awful moves for his development. I just think he can play another year in MLS first.
So I know like Feyenoord, they took the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, but that's not an every year occurrence, of course. But Anderlecht generally takes the league, right? Wouldn't it be less likely that he'd make the team on Anderlecht than he would in Feyenoord?
In the old days, Anderlecht would usually take the league, but now you got Genk up there too now, and I suppose McKenzie it's been fruitful for him there. Is Neal ready for that kind of commitment? I don't know. I mean, he's so young.
He's a couple years younger than whenever McKenzie went over there, and it still took McKenzie like a year and a half to really start cracking consistently.
I'd say one more year in LA. I think you'd be fine. One more year in LA, then make the move. You might have more options. You don't necessarily need to go play for the best team in Holland, maybe the third or fourth best team in Holland. And that way you're guaranteed of playing. Because even a guy like Keith Pierre, even when he's been healthy, is not always been guaranteed a starting spot on whatever team he's been on.
He got traded, didn't he?
Well, he's never fucking healthy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter where
it's amazing. It's amazing that somebody's willing to pay a transfer fee for him. Maybe the who did he play for? Was it who did he play for?
He's played for a lot of teams. Well, no, I should say he's been loaned out multiple times. He played for Heerenveen one season, I believe.
What team had him? What team had him before? I think he just recently got transferred. But
Ajax. I had him originally.
Was it Ajax? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fascinating given the fact that he barely played like the last 3 years. Somebody's willing to fork over any money for him. Maybe you got him for free. I don't know.
He's been injured relentlessly.
So it looks like he's at Excelsior now.
Yeah, if he can still stay healthy, he should play for Excelsior. But will he stay healthy? He's shown no proclivity to stay healthy. Aston Villa and Borussia Dortmund are reportedly continuing their chase to acquire Weston. Okay, well, we'll see. We've been hearing this for a while.
It's weird though that the Dortmund rumor is still active, even coming from Ives, compared to say some rando person on Twitter.
Yeah,
Villa has been going around the woodwork for a while now, but
these are just rehashing up old rumors that just haven't really gone away. But don't necessarily.
The silly season's ending, so I imagine that there's definitely the interest that's drawing here, and whether or not they pony up enough cash to convince Juve to go ahead and do the transfer is a different question.
We'll see. If we would have known more, if Juventus actually played McKennie yesterday before the barf and shit fest at fucking Barca. So
that was Saturday. Saturday was the game.
Right. We learned nothing because of that. Absolutely zero. If he hadn't played at all during the startup of the American tour, you would have thought, okay, yeah, he's along for the ride. But
Juve are actively going after Jonathan David now. Not U.S. related, of course, but Weah apparently has put in a good word for him, and also told him, it's hey, they've been absolutely wonderful here since I got here. They've been welcoming, etc., etc.
Okay,
things, words.
Things. All right. What else we got? Stefano Pioli.
This was as a Friday. This is as a Friday, so that doesn't include what happened in this past match.
He is a player who can do the right things at the right time. And when you have someone like him at your disposal, things become easier. He can play in various roles. He is certainly intelligent and skip his man. Both 1v in there. All right. ... I'm the end of that.
Is it that far of a lag there?
And give and go and inserting runs. He's a player of a level, and he is different from his teammates because he is a virgin. I continue to believe that different characteristics in a well-defined play system can give a team more unpredictability. Yes, and he's been very good in the preseason so far.
Yeah, well, shit. He's got 3 assists so far in 2 games. I know one was against a Serie C team, but still, he's definitely padding his stats right now.
He looked really good in the first half versus Real Madrid, and then the second half, everybody at Milan
I fell asleep.
I
fell asleep during halftime.
Real Madrid took over.
I'm like, AC Milan's up 2-0. I can go to sleep, right? And I wake up and it's 3-2. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
What happened? When did Pulisic go out? 76 minutes? Shit.
Yeah, he played.
I was hoping he went out at halftime.
A lot. But he didn't get the ball in the second half. The offense was non-existent at AC Milan in the second half.
Well, for a chunk of the first half, outside of a couple of runs from Pulisic, their offense was non-existent either.
It sputtered at times. Yeah.
Real Madrid definitely was the better team, despite the fact that they were down 2-0 at halftime, I thought.
Yeah, but there were moments, and AC Milan were definitely taking their opportunities.
True, 100%. And one thing that AC Milan did is they closed down in the defense and shut them down. Like they would have these opportunities, they would start creating, and then all of a sudden, an AC Milan defender blocks a shot, blocks the kick, whatever pass, clears with the header. They just happen to be in the right place, right time, and that's a lot of the defending you see in Italian football.
Yeah,
but yeah. No, I thought they had in the bag. 2-0.
No. Real Madrid came back and did Real Madrid things. And
whoopsies.
Yeah, I know. I just think that AC Milan looked poor in the second half. They look a little lost. I know it's preseason, but they look like they didn't really know how to defend as a group. So, and that could be, you got new guys. You got Loftus-Cheek, you got Pulisic, you got new guys in there. They just look a little confused.
So, I mean, I know, I don't follow AC Milan until just now. So I guess I don't know who necessarily is their A team and who's their scrubs, if you will. But I saw a number of people posting that they would hope that Pulisic gets to play with their A squad some during the preseason. So I don't know.
No, he played with some A squad members on the first half.
Again, I don't know. So I'm just saying.
I think they kind of divided it up a little. I don't think it was all B's. He didn't come out with just the B team. And then, he played so deep into the second half. A lot of the subs, he ended up playing with the A team guys, where guys you would assume would be A team guys like Leao. And so I think we're fine. I think we're going to be fine here. All right. Next.
Tom says the mass substitution after half was bad. Mass substitutions in general
are bad in general. Yes.
Always bad.
They're pretty bad.
Basically, at that point, you've got to assume that if somebody's doing a mass substitution, that they're treating this game as just fitness.
Yes.
Get out there, do what you can, but we're gaining some match fitness, getting ready for the season.
And you want to see
who fucking cares about the preseason match? Really? Who does? Who cares about this?
Right. And you want to see everybody.
Yeah.
Right. So that's another reason you would do that.
While we're talking about AC Milan, I wanted to emphasize, and I don't have this pulled up anywhere, but Musa apparently was not with Valencia's training camp this preseason right now.
No, because
there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk that he's on his way to AC Milan. So,
well, he's off to somewhere. He's being sold. Period. Whether it ends up with AC Milan or Fulham, he's going. Probably AC Milan. Xavier Renko. Timothy Way on what position he plays with Juventus. This past season, I've discovered a new position for myself, which is wing back. That's what Juve came to me for. So right now I'm focused on that, working hard in training, making sure that I adapt to the defense, listen to my teammates, making sure that I can understand what they're telling me in Italian so I can make sure I'm doing my job right. Obviously, as a player, I'm 100% for the club, 100% for the team. Whatever role the coach wants me to play, I'm going to play exactly that role. But for now, it's definitely wing back. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what we said. That's what he's going to go do.
Replacement for Quadrado.
Yes.
That's what it is, basically. 100%, hands down. That's what it is.
And that's fine. And because he's not playing right back. He's playing right wing back.
Exactly.
So it's okay. It's okay.
He'll have some defensive responsibilities, but quite frankly, even Quadrado didn't play that far back in the defense most of the match. Quite frankly, he was always up in the attack, always bypassing the midfield for the crosses. So that can kind of play into his strengths. So
yeah, they're not asking him to play a back four, right back.
No, yeah, absolutely not.
So he's fine. He'll be fine.
But I guess the begs the question. We're going to be talking about the men's national team here in just a few.
Are we?
Well, I mean, it is my last tab. So unless you've got some other bullshit you want to pull up here. This is what it is. But the big question, I guess, being is that if he's playing as a wing back for Juventus, when it comes to the national team, would he be playing the Jedi / Dest role in this situation? I know we don't play a center backs, so we don't play with actual wing backs, but our backs do get up into the attack 90% of the game.
No, this doesn't qualify him for that. Except for in a pinch. I think he's still a right winger for us.
I would think so too, but I'm just saying with the change of play and the change of overall position that he's going to be playing, would Gregg sit there and go, well, maybe I could do that?
Who the fuck knows what Gregg's thinking? But I doubt Gregg's thinking, let's play 5 in the back.
I'm going to take a fucking stab at it, Derek, but I mean, I agree with you. Who really knows what he's thinking at this point?
Nobody knows what he's thinking, but it ain't that. He ain't thinking we're going to play 5 in the back and play two wing backs. No, he's not going to go
It's still going to be the 4-3-3, but I mean, who knows what he's thinking? It's like, well, I mean, Dest is not a defensive, juggernaut by any means. Maybe we can play way there if he's playing well. But yeah, I mean, I guess as a whole, when we talk about this depth, the whole U.S. men's national team depth option here.
No, I mean, Gregg would have to have a brain tumor or something for that to change. He's going to
I guess my argument is we're not sure exactly what what Gregg is going to do, period, across the board. Not just talking about Weah in this situation, but
I mean, we do know what Gregg's going to generally do. Right?
Well, maybe not. I mean, again, he was off for about what is it? Almost 8 months here.
I'll see it when I believe it.
Witnessing.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what Hudson and BJ has done prior to this point. Will his mindset change? I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
No, we hope it did. But you got to keep in mind that Gregg Berhalter is one of the most arrogant people that ever. I mean, it's difficult. But if I had to pick the most arrogant guy, a guy who does put the value of his system above all else, then he's got to be more. And this is hard to believe. He's actually more arrogant than Bruce Arena.
Chris, gotcha. He goes, say system. Please, say system.
He's actually more arrogant than Jurgen Klinsmann, who believed in the players making the decisions on the field, that he wasn't the master of puppets. This is the first manager we ever had that thinks he's the master of puppets. Like the players are puppets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's about as arrogant as I've ever seen a U.S. manager, and he is tops right now as far as the most arrogant manager that's ever managed the United States men's national team. Yeah. He really does think it's like 90% of this is all him.
It's my system.
Right? It's his system. It's his building of cultures.
We're changing the way the world views American soccer.
Yeah.
Chris Gary got bingo with your system talk, by the way.
Good for you, Chris.
Plicata.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that Arena, he is arrogant. There's no doubt, but he's also a people person. If you know anything about the players to talk about Bruce, like, he's not a bullshitter. He lets you know where you stand. He is a good guy. He generally gets along with his players. The players generally like playing for Bruce. Whatever team he's managed at, that's been the case, period.
Unless you're Jermaine Jones.
Well, that's not fair to Bruce, but
he said the worst coach he's ever played for was Bruce Arena.
He didn't really.
But he also said to be fair, or something along those lines, right?
I mean, honestly, Jermaine Jones was not a part of the team anymore when we failed at Cuva, so it's not really. I don't know.
Maybe that was the problem, right?
Maybe yeah. We could have lose.
Amy Bruce.
We could have used some Jermaine Jones that game, probably. But anyhow.
I mean, who would have predicted a Gonzalez own goal? Actually, a lot of people probably would predict that. But who would have predicted a 40-yard bomb on Howard?
No, that was
nobody would predict that shit.
That guy couldn't do that again. If you place the ball down in the same spot
and you remove Howard from goal,
put a small person in goal and say, try that again 100 times, and he wouldn't be able to do it.
Nope.
From that distance. No. With a skilled small person playing goal. Yeah. With maybe another small person who would lift him up if the ball was really high.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's finish this show then. If that's the last,
might actually be an advertised hour and a half show.
It could be
weird. So
go ahead, Frank Bolt,
friend of the show, Frank Bolt had posted a what he thinks is the depth for each position.
According to
in the eyes of Berhalter.
Gregg Berhalter, yes.
And he says he specified later on, he's like, hey, don't underestimate Berhalter's stubbornness when it comes to this. So I guess let's pull it up and we'll just talk about
stubbornness is petulance. It's petulance. Don't underestimate his petulance.
So I guess let's start with striker and work our way down.
Yeah, let's do it. That's what she said. Hey. All right. Balogun. Zing. I really hope Balogun is number one, and I think he is.
I feel like it has to be, right? I mean,
I would think so.
Yeah. I mean, I know Gregg's group reached out to him a couple times, and he's like, I'm not fielding any calls right now. You know, if I recall correctly, what happened. But I mean, obviously the interest is there, and you have the fact that he scored a shit ton of goals in League. So
His debut at Nations League was promising.
Yeah, he got a goal.
Yeah. So here's where I disagree. I don't even think Gregg could be so petulant and stupid that Pepe would not be second.
You don't think Sparrow is second?
No.
Sparrow.
I mean, seriously, are we really thinking for? I don't even think Gregg thinks this anymore.
No. Sargent was his starter at the World Cup.
Yes.
So Sargent's got to be higher at this point. Pepe has to be higher. I know that Pepe is hung up on Gregg, and maybe Gregg has some animosity there. And as of at least a month ago, we heard that Pepe hasn't heard from Gregg. I'm assuming in this European tour, he's probably going to talk to everybody.
No one's heard from Gregg yet, though. Let's be fair.
No. Tim Ream heard from Gregg because they had a conversation at the Fulham match.
The last one
that he didn't participate in, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. But that's the first person he's talked to.
There you go. Gotta get the elder in there, right?
Right. I mean, that we know of. He might have talked to Pulisic by now.
So I would, quite frankly, from Frank's point on striker here, I would move Sargent and Pepe up to second and third. Now, where you put them in second and third is anybody's guess. I think Sargent and Pepe, but
I think it's Pepe Sargent.
I'm going based off of their last interactions, and all of a sudden you have Pepe not even at the World Cup, and you have Sargent there. I mean, what does that say? You had Wright at the World Cup over him and Ferreira.
Yeah, but that proved to be, outside of an accidental goal, not great.
Sure, no, 100%. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'm just saying, where do you think Gregg plays? I think it's Balogun, Sargent, Pepe in depth, and then it's Ferreira, Wright, Vasquez.
I'm going to say, not because I have any more faith in Gregg than you do, but I do think Gregg is probably thinking, like most of the coaches and assistant coaches on the team, that this is Balogun, Pepe, Sargent, then Ferreira.
I'm fine with that too. Yeah, I mean, Sargent definitely has to show he's going to consistently score at the 9, being the 9 this time for Norwich. Pepe has to show he can score with PSE, which he should be able to. Quite frankly, he's going to get the service.
Sounds like Norwich are going to play a 4-4-1-1 or a 4-4-2, based on some of the things I read about David Wagner going into the season. So we'll see. Or 4-2-3-1 with 10 playing underneath Sargent. So we'll see how that works out for him. But yeah,
they need to change some shit up, man. What was not working from last season has to go.
Yeah, I think putting Ferreira, Wright, and Vasquez above Sargent and Pepe is nah. I don't think so.
I don't even think Berhalter could even go that wrong.
No, you'd have to be a real pud whacker to think that's the order.
Yeah.
Gregg.
Come on, Gregg.
Come on, Gregg. Pulisic, Weah, Aronson might actually be a midfielder for Gregg. I don't know. Acosta, Zendaya, Zendejas, Roldan, Morris, Booth. Yeah, I think Morris and Roldan, at this point, you're hoping Gregg learned something.
Yeah.
And they're
having watched the Gold Cup.
Yeah. I mean,
come on. Oh,
yeah.
Not just Roldan and Morris. Zendejas, for that matter. He's got to fall down. I would actually call up Roldan and Morris over Zendejas from his Gold Cup performances.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that Zendejas couldn't offer something with an A squad if he was with an A squad, but he should have shined with the B squad, C squad.
Well, that's his problem. He tried to shine and he tried too hard.
Yeah.
So, yes, and I think Zendejas, Roldan, and Morris are all sort of should be in the shit house, but probably not with Gregg. You would think that Booth would have moved up this list.
I think Booth's got to be under Aronson at this point. Acosta's still questionable because he still has to get citizenship. I know it's right on the cusp and everything like that. People are talking about it. Gregg's even reached out to him. Ironically, over the rest of the team that he hasn't reached out to. How that worked out, I don't know.
Is Lucha? This is Lucha Acosta.
Yeah. Look at the L.
Yeah, but he's more of a. Wouldn't he be more of a CAM?
I don't know. Does Gregg play with the 10?
Well, he's got him listed in the CAM section as well.
Yeah, he's got him listed in both places. Yeah. Well, I guess in that situation, he's got Rain in the blacklist. That's right. I don't think that's going to happen either. But if Acosta could be in the wing and the cam, then then Reyna has to be in the wing and the cam option as well.
In what world is a center forward and a CAM the same thing?
I wonder if he's looking at the center forward being more of like a second striker /
Well, then put second striker.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean,
we don't
stick with wings. Booth has to be higher.
Yeah. Okay. I've already moved on.
The bottom three have to move down. No, I want to stick with this because you have options like Paredes coming in to the fold.
Maybe
he was playing with Wolfsburg at the end of last season. One would imagine he's going to get more playing time this season. He's got to get healthy, of course. Maybe. He is injured right now. So he could fit in there. But obviously, if he's getting playing time in Bundesliga, this is the same argument we made with Scally. You have to call him up, give him a chance.
Well, we'll see. I'd certainly put him over Zendejas, Roldan, and Morris.
Yeah.
So, but I think the rest of them are pretty clear. Pulisic, Weah, Aronson.
Jasper brings up another interesting one here. What if Paxton starts getting more playing time with is it Utrecht? Was it with Utrecht?
No, Paxton plays for Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, thank you. Okay. Not Utrecht. Why would no.
Booth
completely different league. My bad. Yeah.
Booth plays for Utrecht.
Whoopsies.
Okay, so Paxton, yes. Is there a chance that eventually he's better than his brother? Yes. But I think we're going to have to wait a couple seasons for that to happen. At least another season, full season.
I guess just playing devil's advocate, I guess. Just a hypothetical story here. What if Paxton starts getting, a bit of playing time here and there? He's not like a consistent starter, but maybe he's like a first option off the bench. And he's getting bit minutes. You got to imagine at that point, he's got to be moving up the pecking order again over, say, somebody like a Morris or Roldan or Zendejas, right?
You would hope.
So...
You would hope.
There's a lot of Greg playing the fact of who Greg is and who he's likely called at that point.
Greg might go, hey, Paxton could get any playing time at Philly, so maybe he's just really not that good.
Yeah,
we don't know, unfortunately, but we'll have to wait to see if Paxton can prove himself, not against a fifth tier pub league team. He needs to play some better teams, and we'll see in the preseason how that works.
Talking about it. So we're on X. Have you noticed that Twitter has changed from Twitter to X?
Yes, and I know some guy posted up. He's like, I'm laughing at fucking Elon Musk because he couldn't even get the Twitter name to come down, and because he didn't get the proper permits to take down the Twitter sign. I'm like, that's funny? I mean, it's sad that he didn't get the proper permits to take down Twitter.
He's got about a million things he's thinking about. Twitter's like this side project at this point.
It has nothing to do with Elon Musk. You think he's responsible for getting the permit to take it down? I doubt that very seriously.
I think the idea of changing it from Twitter to X is silly.
I think it's weird.
But I don't know. I don't know. I guess with the concept of Twitter, is the idea that Twitter has such a bad name that you're willing to forego all of the built-up,
you're skipping
Twitter.
You're skipping the bird, and you're going to become a soft porn site.
Somebody had posted that they went to type in X on X.com on Twitter or on their URL, and instead X videos came up.
Yeah. I don't know what he's thinking, because you type in X, you're going to get a lot of weird shit before you get to X. Just X.
X videos.
Yep. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out for him.
I don't think it matters. I don't think it will matter. It's not going to change a goddamn thing. It's silly. It's all I got to say.
Yeah.
All right. CFMs and cams.
Let's just cross out CF. Center forward is center forward. None of these guys
are
center forwards. This is second striker / CAM. Ferreira, okay, fine. I don't think he'd be first. The first is the guy that's not even listed here.
So yeah,
Gio Reyna.
He's got Gio Reyna blacklisted.
He's not going to be blacklisted, dudes.
Yeah.
Not happening, people. Reyna's going to play. It's going to be a fucking business decision, and he is the top CAM for this team going forward. I don't care what the fuck how dumb you think Berhalter is. He is not that dumb.
Nope.
And if he is that dumb, I will eat crow, but he is not that dumb. He's a son of a bitch, an arrogant son of a bitch, but he is not that self-destructive. He will not do that.
No, there's no chance that Reyna's not going to be included unless Reyna does something else stupid, childish, or whatever to warrant said call up. Maybe he tells Gregg to fuck off publicly. Then at that point, I can understand. I wouldn't agree still. I can understand Gregg leaving him off at that point. But
does Gregg have any daughters?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can think of is Reyna porks his daughter or something.
Yeah.
You know? Other than that, I mean, kicking his dog didn't keep Miazga from coming back, so I don't see why.
Well, no, we don't even know because Gregg wasn't involved in the Gold Cup, right? It was all BJ. You can't give the props to Gregg on that one, right?
Nah, I think he was doing some of Gregg's bidding there.
That was the narrative, Derek.
Some of Gregg's bidding, not all. I think he consulted Gregg.
It's not like Gregg was calling me and telling me about line changes and stuff like that.
No, not that deep. But I think he called Gregg and said, "Hey, what are you envisioning for the future? What are some of your thoughts? I'd like to hear them." But then he went out and picked the team after hearing that. I don't think Gregg said, "Here's my list. Make sure you pick these guys." I just said,
well, I wouldn't be surprised actually. Take a look at that list. As Nate says, sure, it was BJ.
I think Reyna is number one. I don't care what anybody thinks about how Gregg is a fucking can be a petulant asshole. There's no doubt about it. But Reyna's number one on this list, even for him.
I guess my only argument here is whether or not Gregg plays with the cam at all.
We don't.
Maybe he goes back to his dual eights with the 1-6, and maybe Reyna gets thrown back into the wing role. No, well, then you can make an argument saying, well, Wade and Pulisic have been dominating that wing role, so we don't need to play Reyna, right?
You could even play Gregg as an 8.
Play Gregg as an 8?
You can even play Reyna as an 8. Did I say Gregg?
You said Gregg.
All right. Yeah, you could.
100%.
In Gregg's system, if you're confident enough, but that means someone's got to sit down, whether it be Adams, McKennie. It ain't going to be Adams probably, but it could be because Musa can play Adams' position, frankly. Let's be honest.
But, I mean, he plays that role as a double pivot, though.
Kind of.
Under Hudson and BJ. Still BJ, yeah.
There were plenty of times where he was always the deepest midfielder, picking up the ball by himself.
But it was always McKennie, Musa, and Reyna. Reyna is certainly not one of the doubles of the pivots.
Nor was McKennie most of the time when we were dominating that game. They didn't need a double pivot.
Fair enough.
Musa would pick up the ball at midfield by himself. And McKennie and Reyna were making moves.
So what you're saying is our limited exposure to him occurred because of a poor performance by our opposition.
Yes, that's part of it.
We don't know in a competitive match or quality match whether or not Musa could play the Adams role.
Oh, I do. I think he
could.
I do. He's not going to be a destroyer like Adams, but he gives you all kinds of other things skill-wise that Adams can't give you.
Yeah.
So
dribbling with the ball and
you
turning and passing.
You drop him deep and have him distribute out to McKennie and Reyna as your more advanced midfielders. You got something going there. You can't do that with Adams. Adams going to pick up the ball in midfield and play the safe pass. You're going to play a through ball. Musa can play a through ball. Musa can dribble it through a bunch of people and then play a through ball. So yeah, I mean, Adams, in a world of where we're taking on all the realities as they are, Adams is the guy who's really kind of could be staring at a challenge to get on this pitch, the starting 11 going forward. If you really truly believe that Musa can play that sort of creative Pirlo role and be a defensive presence, that certainly Adams can't be. Adams is a destroyer. That's what he is. He's competent at passing. He's competent, but he's not a magician. So he's not going to give you all the things that Musa gives. Of course, he gives you leadership, and Musa's not going to give you that. So you got to keep, those are all things you got to balance into this.
So I guess as far as just sticking to the categories here and assuming that Berhalter goes with what Hudson and BJ has laid for him, as far as playing more of an offensive-minded 8 option or a 10 in this situation. We both have Rain at first.
Yes.
Who do we have as his backup? Do you have Ferrer playing as the backup cam?
Not really.
I agree.
I mean, if we play a CAM, I don't think Ferrer's second. I think you could play Pulisic there too.
True. Pulisic could play there.
You could play Aronson there.
Yep. I was going to say Aronson probably would be my second in this list, not assuming Pulisic is an option. But
Lucho Acosta.
Again, assuming that he gets the citizenship, yeah.
I ain't playing fucking Roldan there unless you put a gun to my head.
Yeah.
Malik Tillman.
I think Malik goes over Booth. I think Booth sticks at the wings.
I think Booth's more of a wing guy. I watched him at Utrecht.
He's played at the cam level.
I know, but
he's the national team too.
He's much better as a right winger. I mean, all season at Utrecht, when he was healthy before the injury, he was just fabulous out there. Mm-hmm. I don't know why you'd fuck around with that.
He was basically the right wing option of Pulisic in that situation when he was playing for Utrecht.
He's way his backup.
Yeah, that's my thought process.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to 8s.
Sure.
McKennie,
I think the first 3 are fine.
Yep,
I think
they're
the first
fine.
4 are fine.
Yep. I think Kellen might be getting some competition going forward.
So, yeah, and I can understand why Frank put him as an 8 option as well as a 6, because Greg will play Kellen as an 8. And I disagree with that with Greg, but that's a Greg thing.
Yeah, I don't see him ever playing 8 again. He's a backup 6 at best at this point.
Yes. Whether or not he actually is the backup 6 is debatable at this point.
Yeah. Yule's not a backup 8 either. So cross that one off.
Get him off the list. I don't even want him as backup 6.
Not even for Greg. Mihailovic did himself no favors.
Yeah, I guess if we're going down if we're going down 6 spots, though, is there a different 8 that you would like to see over Mihailovic? I mean, Busio, right? You've given up on Busio, though.
Oh, yeah, that's done.
You know who I don't see on this list at all? As a 6 or an 8 is Tessman.
Tessman would be another option at 6 and 8.
Yeah. I would after Aronson, I'd probably have Tessman.
Yeah, I think that's. But no more.
What about Green? Larry's asking about Green.
Maybe.
Would Green fit more in that cam role, though?
I don't think Greg pays any attention to Bundesliga.
That's fair. I mean, it's
at all.
I agree with you on that sense, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Greg watches Bundesliga. I don't think he cares about it. I don't think he's even interested in it. Honestly, I mean, would the other Tillman brother be getting any sort of sniff at all unless he was in MLS? Because when he was playing well at Firth, Greg didn't care about that either. They only started at least tempting themselves about the other Tillman brother when he came to MLS. So can't be Tessman. He hasn't been called in before and therefore is not familiar with the precious system. He has been called in with lower with the
Tessman played when he was still in MLS.
Yes.
Yeah.
He played Olympic qualifiers, didn't he?
Yes,
Pretty
he
sure
did play
he did.
there. But it wasn't under Greg's system as David D was specifying there.
No. It was under Gregg's system because everyone was required to use Gregg's system.
That was so early in his tenure. I don't think that system was established.
Yes, it was. Absolutely was, because what's his face had already quit U.S. Soccer and moved on to coach Austin. Was it Austin? And of course, he got fired from there too. Anyhow, the point being, Tab Ramos had already quit because he's like, fuck that. I am not being told how to fucking set up my team and how to play it. And he said, fuck this, and I'm not moving to Chicago either. Fuck that too. So he left because he didn't want to play Gregg's system. And everyone was required, i.e. via.
Chris played a 4-3-3 in the Olympics, but it wasn't Berhalter ball.
Yes, it was. It absolutely was Berhalter ball. I don't know what you watched, but I saw Berhalter ball. It was absolutely.
Yeah, you have a phenomenal memory pulling up random matches from like 4 years ago.
All I can tell you is what I remember. And
they played a 4-3-3 that just was not the Berhalter ball you saw.
No, it was absolutely Berhalter ball. It was ineffective. They couldn't get anything forward. They couldn't move the ball. And Tessman was one of the best
indication of his system is that it was ineffective. That's it. That's absolutely.
Right there. Okay. They looked.
I don't disagree with you. They were definitely ineffective. They made it to the quarters. They lost to Honduras, but yes,
they looked verklempt. They looked like they had serious blockage in the intestinal system while they were playing. There was no one of any creativity on the pitch.
I'll agree with you on that, yes. And that's because primarily they played Mihailovic as a winger, if I recall correctly.
And Tessman was one of the better players on that team when he finally came in. In fact, they called him in late, and he ended up being a starter, right? So there's that. So he's familiar enough.
I'm like, they weren't playing Berhalter ball as a Berhalter ball. And you're like, yeah, it was ineffective. Like, okay, sure, I guess. I can't argue with that. I guess you win, Derek. You win.
It was ineffective. It was they were all fucking constipated. Yeah, it looked like Berhalter ball.
The Olympics sure.
I'm just telling you, that's why Tab Ramos left, because everyone was required from there on out to play the same system. And he's like, fuck it, I ain't doing that. I'm leaving. Bye. Have a good time. That's when we hired Jason motherfucking Christ, right?
Without the T, of course.
Right. So 6, Adams, Musa, Cardoso.
Sands and Cardoso.
I know, but Sands is below Cardoso. Maybe not in Gregg's eyes, though. Right?
Yeah, I'm kind of torn. I mean, Sands had a relatively effective and quiet Gold Cup. Mind you, against a lot of tiny island nations. I still need to see more from Cardoso. I really do. Before I can make a judgment on that.
I know, but it costs us third in this list. And you're not bringing any more than 2 of these fuckers anyhow for this spot.
And yeah, quite frankly, it'd probably be more like Adams and Acosta, and then you throw Musa back there.
If needed. Yeah. Right. So there's no need to even go over that any more than we have. Fullback. Okay. Robinson. Yes. Jedi. Dest. Nah. No Yedlin. I don't even think Gregg believes that. Fuck no way more. If Gregg hasn't learned from the embarrassment of fucking the World Cup on Shaq Moore, then he's learned nothing. DeJuan Jones, Reynolds, Fossey, Wiley. I don't think Gregg knows who Marlon Fossey is. I don't think he knows he exists.
So Scally is definitely not going to be on the blacklist. I can understand why Frank put him on the blacklist, because
Frank's being so super cynical. I like it, but at the same time, Gregg can't afford to be
you played fucking
cynical.
Cannon over Scally in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to be blacklisted. No, Scally has to be third option here. I think Yedlin's age is playing him out of this cycle at this point. Moore could be fourth, I guess, because
no way. Moore's
because
off
of Berhalter.
Doesn't matter. He's off this list. Not even Gregg.
I mean, with how Reynolds played, I would imagine Reynolds should overtake him in that situation. Cannon's off the list completely. I think he's going to be blacklisted along with Brooks because of his comments he made afterwards.
I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklisted. I just don't think Cannon's that good. I don't think he's going to be blacklis
It's gotta be. I mean, I thought he was better than Moore, and I think he's better than.
You only need 4 of these guys, 4 or 5 at best.
Yeah.
And Destin, Robinson are
1, 2,
locked
3.
in. Scally's on here for sure. Then it's a fucking fist fight.
I'm throwing Reynolds in as 4 then.
There you go. Reynolds, I would put as 4 as well. And then it's a fist fight again between Jones and Wiley.
I mean, I guess until we see Wiley and until we see Fossey, you kind of have to go Jones because we don't necessarily have. Well, you know who's not on this list right now, and I know that's because he's been injured for like a year. Is Vines?
Yeah, he's probably done.
We'll see what happens when he returns. I mean, he's having a hell of a season prior to his injury.
Yeah, dude, he moved to Europe and Greg forgot about him.
How weird.
I know.
And you know who else I don't see on this list, Derek? I don't see Bello. Where's Bello at?
Bello is in the he's in the nether regions of Austria, probably sucking on a chocolate shake and hanging out with some sort of Austrian prostitute. So he's done, folks. Chalk him up. He's finished. Bello is never was ran. He's over.
It's fair enough, yeah.
And frankly, Moore was a never run guy too either.
Larry goes on to say, no, that's not Larry. Where's it at? It's moving up on me. Hold on.
I agree. Vines kind of sucks.
So Larry says Vines sucks, but then he goes on to say that where's it at? Bello can develop.
No,
he has
can't.
Class.
No, he doesn't.
So Larry, I think that's a little bias there, man. I'm just saying. I think they're both pretty.
What's Larry's bias? I wonder what that would be. All I got to tell you is I don't fucking care where anybody's come from. Bello is bust, baby. He's done. He couldn't play for a fucking 2 Bundesliga team, and he moved to a 3 Bundesliga team, and they got his ass. They got rid of him because he's not going to play there. They don't want him. They don't need him. And if he plays it last, we'll see if he does play it last next season. If he's an automatic starter, and I bet you that's going to be him.
Come on, Larry, you're killing me now.
There is no more NASL, but yes, he would have been a good fit for a USL team about right now.
Maybe like a USL 1.
League One?
League One, yeah.
League One. Listen, Bello's awful, folks. If you didn't watch him play in 2 Bundesliga, because he rarely played, but when he did, he was fucking awful. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. He's not good. He never got better. Yeah.
I mean, it's safe to say at this point when you're talking about like Vines or Bello as natural left back options. You have Jones that's playing there. Is he actually left footed though? Is he right footed, right?
I don't know, but he plays left back just fine.
He played left back well enough during the Gold Cup.
He plays well for Revolution.
Plays well at Revolution. I think Scally's a viable backup option for left back at this point. Listen, I think he's first option off the bench, quite frankly, if whoever's coming out.
The first team, you're not going to see anybody but Jedi and Death starting.
Yeah.
And then if one of those guys breaks a fucking penis, then you got Scally coming in. Period. End of story. Nobody else gets to play.
Whoever gets called up after that is just canon. It's just fire.
You're just getting lucky. I'm hoping that Greg learns who Marlon Fossey is and gives him a good, look-see next season, because Marlon Fossey, I thought, did really well with Standard Liège last season. He got no press. He got no one to notice. And like I said, I don't even think Greg knows who he is. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I guess other options at back as a possibility, I guess, is Paredes has played back there as a wing back.
It's an option. I don't think Paredes would necessarily like it unless he was playing at least a left wing back spot.
Yeah,
Jonathan.
I'd rather hope for Jonathan Gomez to develop into something than bring in Bello or Vines, is what he's saying.
Money Wilson, I will tell you this, buddy. If you're waiting on Jonathan Gonzalez to develop into anything, you're going to be waiting you're going to be fucking buried, because he is going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. All of what you saw with Louisville or whatever team you watched him play with before, it ain't good enough. It ain't good enough for the fucking B team. in Barcelona. All right? He is nowhere near getting playing time, and he has not impressed anybody so far in his time in Spain. So if he's going to do something, he needs to leave and go play in, like, I don't know, Segunda? Play a season in Segunda. And I guarantee you he would not be a fucking inked-in starter at a good Segunda team. I guarantee you he would not be. I think we all, well, not me, not you, Brett, but a lot of people got this gigantic erection for this kid way too fast. You need to fucking chill out. And we've said this 1,000 times on this show. Just because somebody's a good 16-year-old or a 17-year-old doesn't mean they're going to keep growing as a player. You got to wait and see. There's no reason to get fucking a big hard on for a player when he's 16 and 15 and 17 years old. You got to wait till they grow up and show whether or not they've got the ability to continue to evolve and grow as a player. Well, we're not seeing that from Jonathan Gomez.
Mm-hmm.
His brother actually plays for a 3 Bundesliga team. He gets more playing time than he does. All right. Anyhow, I wouldn't stake any money on him at all. I'm not writing him off. He's not on
young.
I haven't written him off. He's not on my write him off list. Bello's on my write him off list.
Not Bello.
But I wouldn't put any money on Jonathan Gomez amounting to a hill of beans quite yet. I would wait before you put that bet down. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, let's move on to center backs. Yeah. So
he's right about,
I guess let's talk about it now.
He's right about Zimmerman. He's right.
Brooks is on the blacklist. So let's just go ahead and hit the elephant in the room there.
Brooks is way beyond a blacklist. He's been sent to a fucking junkyard, squashed into the size of a fucking 1x1 brick, and flushed down some sort of gigantic toilet in the middle of a desert somewhere. He is gone. Not to mention the quote we always have on our intro where he calls Gregg a bitch. That's not going to help him.
I think Greg's watching our show going like, did he really call me a bitch? What the fuck? I was about to call him up. Got to think of an excuse now, man. He's got we're going to give him like at least 5 Bundesliga matches, right? Yeah, that's what we're doing next.
The funny thing about that when I made it was that I sped up my voice so no one could mistake the fact that that's not John Brooks, because John Brooks' voice is like blah 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 blah. He's like, Gregg's a bitch. You know, I sped my own voice up so no one could say that was actually him saying that.
Christopher has it. He's got his own list. He's
Brooks listed. Yeah, he's fucking. Yeah, he's gone. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see Brooks. I mean, Miles Robinson looked like dog shit, so I put Richards above Robinson even for Gregg. Ream will probably hold on to Ream for as long as Ream's still playing well.
Yeah, I mean, you got to at this point. Again, I think he's going to win us the World Cup because, you know, he's constantly getting better with age.
Yes. Long, I mean, if Gregg didn't watch an absolute destruction of a rectum when he watched Long play in the last tournament, then he's just so in love with Aaron Long's good looks that he just can't get past the fact that Long's just not that good. He's not good. He should be way below CCV, way below even McKenzie, and way below Neal.
No, he's completely off the list at this point. And I'm going to bring this up because I know Larry's talking about it, and I know that obviously he had a bad second half of the season last year, but an interesting option with like somebody like EPB who could play both a back and a center back option. Would you say would you contemplate on possibly bringing EPB over, say, Yedlin or Moore, and then you basically have a fifth center back option as well?
No, you're not playing a back five with 3 center backs. You're not bringing EPB because EPB has not proved himself above Richards, above CCV, above Miles Robinson, even above. Yeah. So no, you're not going to bring EPB right now, not as a guy with an option to play wide. There's no point. If you're going to play 3 center backs, maybe he makes it, but you're not going to play 3 center backs. You're playing 2 with 2, a left back and a right back. There's no point in thinking of Gregg's going to do anything else. So you're only going to have 4 or 5 center backs. And for certain at this point, yes, Zimmerman's still in. Ream's still in.
Let's say take your 5. Let's pick it now.
Zimmerman's still in.
Miles
Ream,
there.
Richards above Miles, but
sure.
Yes, there.
Order. I'm just saying name the 5.
Listen, after what I just saw for Miles, he'd be off for me. But
yeah,
this isn't me. This is Gregg.
Sorry about this is defense, right?
Yeah. So CCV will make it on before long in McKenzie. So those are your 5.
I guess the other question is, I guess where does Trusty fall in all this? I know Neil's on there, and I think it's
in a black hole.
Neil.
In a black
and
hole
Long's
for
on
Gregg.
there. We know Long shouldn't be on there at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Trusty's getting the old Reggie Cannon treatment, i.e., you played right back and right center back. We don't play those positions on our team. So, I mean, Trusty's going to have to go out and ball, absolutely ball, to get noticed next season by Gregg. Because Gregg's stuck on Zimmerman. First. Yes.
Yeah, until Zimmerman proves, until is Gregg's rose tinted glasses fade on Zimmerman.
I don't think that's going to happen. And people are saying, "Well, Zimmerman's getting old." I don't know. I mean, Zimmerman's been Zimmerman forever. He's been the exact same player. I mean, I don't. He isn't changing, and Gregg's not changing. So Zimmerman's thought of as a leader for this team. I don't know. All right, so that's center backs. Goalkeeper. Turner. Nah.
Straightforward 3, I think. Right now, until proven otherwise. Let's see what happens. But it's Turner and Horvath. And then I've got to say, I mean, unless he's still pissed off at Stefan for his pre-World Cup meltdown.
Yeah.
It's got to be Stefan, I imagine. Until
you would think, but Stefan's been atrocious.
Yeah, but I mean, again, who are we bouncing to at that point? We're certainly not keeping Johnson involved. God, the guy's like 33 years old, 34.
There is nothing that Gregg likes more on a cold winter's day than a warm Johnson.
I guess the bigger question, I mean, you gotta he has Slonina as his 4th option. We got to see what happens with him in Chelsea if he's gonna get loaned out, if he's gonna be used as a second. I don't know. But I mean, we called Stefan. How many times did we call Stefan in as a second to Man City?
Who's
Turner's
Cincinnati?
second to Arsenal? I mean, I understand Turner's a bit different. Stefan is even a bit different than Slonina at this point. But
who's the Cincinnati goalkeeper?
No.
Starts with a C.
It does start with a C. Celentano?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to add him to this list.
I'm kind of surprised he wasn't part of the 60 of the prelims for the Nations League and Gold Cup.
Yeah.
Why was he not part of that?
I don't know, but you could add him to this list and cross out Johnson, and I really don't give a fuck who you pick behind Turner, as long as Turner's starting.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Horvath has had his blunders with the United States. I think it's definitely Turner starting, Horvath, and then enter your 3rd here.
Again, it's a position. There's only one of them on the team.
Fair.
Turner's going to start, and whoever is the backup, as long as they're not Johnson, and they're Slonina or Callender or Horvath or Stefan or the other dude who I can't remember, I'm fine. Fine with it.
Yeah,
I can live with any backups at this point as long as they're not Johnson and some other slacker who doesn't serve to be there.
We're also looking towards the future at this point as well. You can't necessarily. I mean, again, I understand goalkeepers age a bit differently, similar to center backs when it comes to this, but Johnson's well past his prime, and there are better options. I think, quite frankly,
that's what your wife's going to tell you someday.
Hey.
Your Johnson is well past its prime.
Someday. Many a day until that occurs.
And you know what she's going to do? She's going to approach you and say, I've got these pills, Brett. They can make your Johnson all better again. And you'll be fine.
I'll grab them do they make them bigger?
Yes. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. All right. All right. Blacklisted. Brooks.
Larry, we don't exile. We don't time anybody out. You ban people unless they're porn bots.
Hey, Larry, you are dead to me on Twitter. But you know what? We still answer your questions here. But anyhow, when I said you're dead to me on Twitter, I still replied to you. All right.
It's already too big, yeah. It's true. Yeah. What can I say?
I've been told that once. All right. Blacklisted. Brooks, yes, he is. Scally's not. Cannon might be, but it doesn't matter because he's not good enough to make this team. Reyna is not blacklisted and won't be blacklisted. He will be treated in a professional manner.
An integral role. Or what did BJ? Not BJ. What did Betty tell him? An important role, something like that. Don't worry, Gio. You're gonna have an important role with the United States national team.
Crocker said that Reyna was his lead baker.
Yeah.
So there you go. Top baker in his factory. Stefan, I don't think Stefan's going to be blackballed. I know that he had some issues in his call with Gregg, and it wasn't pretty, and he was upset. And I understand why he was upset, but at the same time, I can also understand why Gregg made that decision. He didn't want any fucking battle about who was going to be the first goalkeeper. He just wanted a starter and some backups, and Stefan was not exactly excited about being a backup in the World Cup. He thought he did everything that Gregg had asked him to do, which is go play, find your place, become a starter on some sort of team, and be prepared to play the World Cup. But in the end, Turner became the man. So on this list of blacklisted guys, Brooks is definitely the one guy that's blacklisted. Cannon doesn't matter. And I don't think the other guys are really blacklisted. It's just going to be about how they play.
Yeah.
Going forward. So.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We almost still made it to 2 hours, Brett. Can you believe this?
Main topic actually almost took an entire hour.
Yeah.
Look at us go.
Make sure, by the way, if you're watching the show and you're still here, make sure you subscribe, share it with your grandma, all those great things. We will be back on Thursday for another show. God knows what we're going to fucking talk about. But we will be here to talk about something. We'll figure something out. By the way, if you're getting a lot of criticism from your family because it's obvious to them that you and your stepsister are fucking at this point, and they all know it, and there's sort of this low hum at the dinner table. Nobody wants to bring it up. I think it's okay to be open and just say, listen, Dad, Ma, we're not really fucking related. This is not bad. This is not a bad thing. We're both over the age of consent, and it's just fine. It's just fine. In fact, we plan to have kids. And just be open with it. Just tell them how you really feel. Stand up and talk about it. Get it off your chest. All right? You'll feel much better then. She's not your real fucking sister. She's not even your cousin. This is
Derek, you're going to a lot of depth here. Do you have a stepsister? Is there something you want to tell us?
No, I don't.
Something you want to come out? We're all friends and family here, Derek. You can tell us.
This all came about because of the whole stepsister rage on all the porn sites. And I'm like, why is this so exciting to people? I really don't get it. Because they're not related. So why is everybody you got the stepdaughter videos, the stepson videos, the stepsister? Why is that exciting? Is it that taboo? They're not really fucking related. Can we get over that? Yes, we should. All right, until the next time on the Straight Right Card, find some better porn, because that's not really that great. Good night.
But she's a trap. She's an unsung novel. Turn a lap and get your whole world dazzled on the line. Or a phone call
That hurt.
I'm tuned in like crazy, and I'm pretending like I know what they're doing, and I'm,
articulate and intelligent.
Gregg's a bitch.